morning and happy Moon Day. It's Claudia Thompson of Moon Powered Astrologer here, tuning you into the moon and the other things that are happening this week. And boy, the heavens are busy. I mentioned last week that July is a very busy month and it's a setup. It's like the beginning notes of a symphony that's going to build to a crescendo in October. So, we're going to be tuning into the universe, and the universe, of course, is within you. So let's begin with a heart drop. If you are checking in, please let me know in the chat room that you're here, where you're hailing from, any questions you might have as we go forth, and I'll be glad to answer them. I love to know that you're here. So here we go. Place your feet on the floor, palms up in your lap. Begin to breathe, or be aware of your breath. Of course, you're breathing. But just be aware of your breath as it comes and goes. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Now take a breath and be aware that the breath comes from below the soles of your feet. Breathe in that wonderful, ever-sustaining earth energy. All the way up. On the inhalation, as you get to your crown chakra, see white light pouring down as you exhale, cleansing every cell of your body. Any negativity, any thinkety-think that prevents you from being right here in the present moment, the only point of power, moves right on out. On the next breath, make sure that your belly is receiving the breath, so that you're breathing fully all the way up. And exhale. And welcome the life force of source, prana, into those trillions of cells in your body as you take the next breath. And exhale. So delicious. God, Goddess, all that is breathing us into existence every moment. How blessed are we? And now on the next breath, inhale all the way up. And as that white light comes down through your body, see your consciousness, your mental energies moving down from your head, behind your facial mask, down through your throat, down into your chest, coming to rest in your heart awareness. In, out, drop into your heart. And as you drop into your heart, see this beautiful pink, almost liquid-like light filling your heart center. And now this energy flows through your whole body, embracing every cell with love. Prime your pump with self-love. As if there's a little being hugging every cell of your body, telling you how magnificent you are, how fabulous you are in your divine uniqueness. Now on the next breath, you begin to breathe in and out of your heart. I mentioned last week that pink tourmaline is a wonderful crystal to see the energy of in your heart, as it is both green and pink rose colored, healing the heart and opening it to love. And now that energy moves out through your skin, filling the room around you, filling your auric field. Feel your heart filled to overflowing with love for yourself, for your life, for the amazing being that you are in this time of awakening on planet Earth. Breathe in and out of your heart. Think of all the things that you're grateful for. Grateful for your heart, for this body, for this day, I'm grateful for this time with you. Feels so good, doesn't it? And when you feel complete, centered in the moment, because when you're in your heart, you are truly present. Open your eyes and come back to be with me. We've got a busy week, as I mentioned, and we are in the waning part of the moon. How was your full moon experience? Boy, that super full moon was really something, wasn't it? I felt a shift. I did my wish work, my release work, and then, did my feelization around my wish, and I felt a shift. I definitely the next morning woke to feel a shift. How about you? Please share with me in the chat if you had a shift in the light of the full moon or after. That was last Wednesday at 11. It was exact at 11:37 in the morning, but at night we saw the real show with that super full moon, the closest and thus the largest super full moon that we will have in 2022. So today the moon is in Aries, bold, daring, full of ideas, pioneering Aries. So you may find that if there's some contention in your relationships, drop into your heart because the ideas will be flowing. Aries, of course, is fiery, and we've got Chiron and Eris in Aries these days, and both of those are going to be moving in retrograde motion this week, joining the retrograde parade. And Pluto is a big player this week, but we've really got some lovely harmonious aspects as we move into this waning part of the cycle. And it's really important as Venus is also moving into Cancer. I believe that's, Venus moves into Cancer. And so Mercury moves into Leo. The sun moves into Leo. Lots of movement going on in the heavens this week, which creates movement in your psyche, opportunities for change. Under the full moon, you looked at the plan that you've hatched, how well you've done regarding your plan and your goals. At this time of the year, this is a culmination point. The new moon was on the 2nd of January in Capricorn that we refer back to, as well as referring back to the new moon at the beginning of July. And it's all about what you do for a life while you're out in the world making a living. What provides that ground of emotional security and sustenance, attention to your family, your home, your inner and outer mother and child, playfulness. This is why this is such a time for family reunions. And not only that, but next month, as we move to the Leo Aquarius axis in the next cycle, it has to do with your extended family. So Cancer really goes to your roots and your family of origin. And that will move on out to your extended family, your community next month. So you're asked to really rock steady when it comes to that base of security that is your home base and your family, and any healing that needs to go on there. We're still in the wake of this Scorpio, the south node, total lunar eclipse that we're experiencing. That we're still in the wake of that, and we'll be till September, October, till the next eclipse season. So we're really unearthing the old wounds, the old hurts, the areas where we haven't forgiven not only others, but ourselves, because that's the big one, right? Forgive means you go back before anything happened and give yourself a fresh start. It's like the word mistake. You get to take it again, right? It's just like a misstep. So we have Mercury opposite Pluto today, and we're going to have the sun opposite Pluto as the week goes on. And then with Mercury, Mercury moving into Leo, it really reminds you this whole week and beyond to really listen to what you say. Watch what you're saying to others, because it may be that it's what you need to hear, something that you really need to hear. And oftentimes when we're expressing ourselves, and of course with Mercury and Leo, it says, communicate from the heart. Leo's all about heart. Cancer's about the gut and also birth. And so we've been asked to look at how we nourish ourselves. Do we trust our gut? Oftentimes, I'm sure you've had the experience, I certainly have, where I'll talk myself out of a gut knowingness about somebody or something in my life. And it never works out. It's always best to just trust my gut, because that's the creative center of your body. It's the birthing center in women. And it's also the birthing center in men. It's just a different form of creativity as opposed to reproducing a human being. We all have that creative center of energy. So this has been a very, very creative cycle. Also a very emotional cycle. So, you might find that this morning it really brings some profound conversations as the moon moves on through Aries. And tomorrow, as I mentioned, Mercury moves into Leo. So expressing yourself from the heart, looking at communication around your passions. What makes your heart sing? And that, as the sun moves into Leo later this week on the 22nd, we're really, really going to be called to look at that and blend that with all the creative energy that we have felt this month. And it takes it into the realm of play and fun. Because sometimes Cancer being so emotional and also being ruled by the moon. So this has been a very lunar month so far. Rules memory. So Cancer oftentimes takes us back to the past. And it can be very emotional. It can show us where we don't release the past, where we're still stuck in memory. Oh, good morning, Kat. Thanks for checking in. And a Facebook user, I don't know your name, but a lot of synchronicity in your life. So, oh my gosh, congratulations to your mom getting married this weekend. That's very exciting because, tomorrow we have Venus moving into Cancer. And that gives a yearning for romance and love. So perfect timing as we walk this bridge between the Cancerian and the Leo energy. Leo loves romance. Hi, Selena. Hi. So definitely check in if you're out there. I love to give you a high sign and know you're there sharing this energy with me. I so appreciate it. And I want to give a shout out to Debbie Garcia behind the scenes too. Lots of gratitude to her. She's the tech whiz that makes this possible. So big cup of grata, as she calls it, to Debbie. She has a lot of wonderful shows on spirituality gone wild, along with this one. So tomorrow, today we rock along. We look at the shift from water to fire as the moon moves into Aries, and all the ideas that are coming up in the wake of this full moon. What are the ideas that we want to move forward on now? This was a full moon of realization, culmination, but also realizing something that may have been in the works for a long time. It also may have brought something to the fore that has been that you've been working on, possibly in a quiet realm for years because of the aspects around it. So, look at how you're going to bring that forward and what are the ideas that complement that are worth putting your energy behind. Because, of course, the Aries moon is ruled by Mars, which is now in Taurus. And wherever Mars goes, energy flows. So Taurus reminds you to ground, to take action, to ground your plan, your ideas. And look at where your plan may need tweaking at this point. You may find that it's gone through major changes throughout this year. That big dream, that quantum leap of faith that you've been asked to take. And just that quantum leap, period, as we're evolving and awakening. And we're realizing that there's no normal to go back to, that we are each absolutely in the time that we were born for, this time of awakening, this unusual, unprecedented time on planet Earth in the evolution of humanity. So tomorrow we have Mercury moving into self-expressive Leo, And that happens at 5:34 a.m. out here on the West Coast. So as you wake up, you'll be experiencing that shift in communication, heart-centered communication. And also, Leo can be very dramatic. So, just be sure that the drama is something that, emboldens, but also that's appropriate. Being overly dramatic just because it feels good, or to overcome or overwhelm is not an appropriate use. But if you've dropped into your heart, if you remember to breathe in and out of your heart, no problemo, right? That's the tonic for it. We have Chiron moving in retrograde motion tomorrow morning at 16 degrees of Aries. And so this is going to ask you over the next few months to address any lack of self-confidence that could cause you to mistrust your ideas. Yeah. So watch where that might be creeping in, and where you could shore up your self-confidence. Affirmations, positive affirmations. I can, I will, I do, I dare is something that I say every morning, and I write it down in my journal. I can, I will, I do, I dare. And another affirmation that I really love is I am one with God or Source, or I am one with Goddess. I am one with all I desire. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You like that one? Yeah. I am one with God. I am one with all I desire. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, gratitude's the fertile soil in which all seeds of manifestation are planted. So if you find that you fall off track or feel some contentiousness, just move back into gratitude. Just whatever you're looking at. I'm grateful for this plant. I'm grateful for that tree. I'm grateful for each breath. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for you, right? Yeah. So on Tuesday night, we have the sun opposite Pluto. And that Pluto's making some really interesting aspects this week. It's making an aspect to Mercury as well. So Mercury kind of skims the surface. It's mercurial, whereas Pluto takes us deep. It's silent. After all, Pluto is the god of the underworld, right? So it's like there was a movie years ago called Silent Running. And it was a movie about a submarine deep in the ocean, stealthily moving. So that's that's kind of the deep area of Pluto, and power, the deeply entrenched power structures in our lives, and how we are reclaiming that energy by releasing old beliefs, incorporating new truths, so that we can reclaim or reinvigorate or just completely reinvent our way of being self-empowered. With the divine feminine afoot on the planet, it reminds us that power is inherent. It is not something that is given to us by the culture. And I know I was having a conversation with a dear friend this morning about relevance. And, I see this in social media so much. People's need to be relevant as opposed to beneficial, insightful, and uplifting. So, there are both sides out there, right? But just be aware of the frequency of these things. One frequency is lower. Doesn't mean you can't go there. It's just be aware. And, because you get to choose your own narrative. You get to create your own movie. You are creating your own movie in every moment. So, just be aware of the ticket that you're buying into, a movie that you're buying into. So when we move to Wednesday, there's some confrontational aspects in the morning. And then the moon moves into Leo at 11:20. The moon moves into earthy Taurus. So we go from fire in Aries to earthy Taurus at 11:23 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And so this is going to provide some grounding, because Aries, you'll be full of ideas, feel the urge for activity. However, we're in the disseminating phase the first part of this week. So we're still taking a bite out of the fruit, so to speak, that has come out of our full moon experience. We're sharing with each other. sharing our experiences, our awarenesses. Where are we regarding the plan, the strategy that we set forth at the time of the new year? As the new year turn, it's been a very different year, right? Yeah. Dream bigger than you've ever dreamed. That's the high side. And then what gets in the way of that dream? What are the dream stealers in your life? People, places, things, but most of all, your own internal dialogue and your ability to focus on what you truly want and what you truly value. That's the big word this year. Value. Valuing yourself, knowing you're enough, knowing that if you are enough, you have enough. And looking at valuing the earth, valuing your connection to the earth. So we move into the last quarter phase on Wednesday, and that happens in the morning at 7:18 a.m. So the last quarter is always the phase where we take stock. And this has been a big cycle. July's a big, it's a big turning point in the year because it is like the full moon of the natural year. We've birthed something new with the solstice. Now we come to this culmination point and we look at what's the environment that we want to provide for this new birth that's happened, for this new, this peak of light that occurred, which is awareness, information. As we move to Thursday, we have Eris moving in retrograde motion, and that moves retrograde at 25 degrees. Now, Eris is the goddess of discord. It's the goddess of creativity out of chaos or chaotic creativity, however you want to look at that. But this is the energy of, this is the goddess that was kept out of the party, wasn't invited to the wedding, and then went to Apollo and was bemoaning her fate and her exclusion, and war was the result of that. So this is, as Pam Gregory calls it, the street fighter of the zodiac. So we're seeing a lot of people take to the streets around the world for the, the inclusion of the divine feminine, of the right to express oneself, of the right to having an equal playing field, and for one's individual rights to be, to be supported and respected and honored. And that begins within us, right? Even more so when this planet is retrograde. It reminds us that all of those things, honoring, respecting, take place within us. And of course, as the sun finishes moving through Cancer, and we finish this Cancerian cycle, lunar cycle, that is a square. And squares move us into action. So taking action in your own life to look at how are you honoring your dream, your vision of life? How are you honoring your need for nourishment? And what does that look like? How do you fill your own well to overflowing? And you've heard me mention this before, so that others draw from your overflow and your essential energy is never compromised. It's tricky, especially in this world of total distraction in so many ways, so many levels. But to stay in your center, to know that you are one with all you desire, that you are one with all you need, and nourish yourself well from head, from thoughts, to food, to relationships, in every area of your life. What does that mean? Because that is the foundation for your emotional security. Knowing that you are spirit, having a human experience and maintaining that spiritual connection, finding a way to rebirth that every day and to stay inspired. These are the things that will help ground you as we move forward through this, what may be a very tumultuous time over the next few months. So on Friday, and by the way, cardinal signs, as I've mentioned before, Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn are really being kicked off throughout this year, but especially as we come to the end of Cancer. We had this full moon united with Pluto. So it's reminding us that when you eliminate energy from old constructs, old hurts, old things that don't work, you can reclaim that energy for no less than transformation. Debbie sent me a really cute emoji this morning, and she was Bumblebee. And bumblebees always remind me that anything is possible. It reminds, that you can bring, that you can soar into the birth of anything that seems impossible, because the bumblebee is considered to be impossible. It's got these little bitty wings and this big, body, this fuzzy yellow and black striped body, and yet it flies. It achieves liftoff. It buzzes around and does everything it needs to do and pollinates. And so I love the image of the bumblebee, reminding us that the seemingly impossible is possible. Never more true than during these times. On Friday, the sun moves into Leo, and we move from the gut and the breast area, the area of nourishment in our bodies, to the heart. So you're all good at doing the heart drop. So really employ that as the sun moves into Leo. And look at what makes your heart sing and how you nourish yourself with your passions in a positive way. That's the key, right? In a positive way. On Saturday, we've got a lovely aspect, Mercury trine in harmonious aspect, in other words, with Jupiter. So this is very optimistic, and it encourages you to have positive thoughts and speech, and to write. It's a great time to write your creative ideas. Jupiter's been asking you in Aries, what are you going to take action to grow in your life? Where are you going to expand your ideas into reality? And so it's a great, aspect for writing that down and communicating it and sharing those ideas, doing some brainstorming. And on Sunday, you might find that you're questioning the validity of those ideas. And, Sunday night's a great night to just watch a good movie. Yeah, because it might be a little bit of an up and down day, but, it's always a good day to just kind of to chill out. I was honored to be a guest on Twin Flame Divine Fire on Saturday. It was a 2-hour podcast with Sandra and Alan. We talked about all kinds of things. We talked about the divine feminine and what that means, and how we're just, it's just really coming up to the fore again, which began in the 60s, and how it's about embodying it. What does that mean for us? So during the last quarter of this, as this week brings us into the last quarter, we're going to be approaching a new moon on the 28th. You're asked to take stock of how are you in balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And the key is divine, as opposed to a lower frequency 3D way of manifesting that energy. What does that mean for you? How do you walk that in your life? How can we get our magnetic mojo working so that we truly attract what we need, align with who we are, and walk in an awareness of that? To have the guts to live our vision, to walk our vision, no matter what the world around us that is a product of yesterday seems to be telling us is the pervasive reality. To rise and be the creator of your own life, and also to connect with others. I'm finding that one of the things that COVID did on the downside was it made some people very, very extremely self-centered. And, they're self-centered with a small s and self-centered with a big S, which is source-centered. And that's really what you want to go for. And then the people and the things, the ideas that you need will automatically be attracted to you. And that's part of the divine feminine. And you might find with Eris moving in retrograde motion, we really get in touch with a deep swath of anger in our culture. And, it's it's global. There are reasons for it. But between now and October, you might find that there's such a difference between the ideas that you have, the dream and the reality. But every day, get back in touch with that dream and that vision so that you stay on a happy course in your life. With Jupiter, this Jupiter trine this week, it really, really encourages you to have a joyful consciousness. I love the mantra Rama. Rama. Gandhi used to say it all the time. Rama. It's said that when he was assassinated, that this was what he was saying. And the first translation that I saw of this, Rama means light. And so a wonderful mantra is, I celebrate the joy of the divine light within me. I celebrate the joy of the divine light within me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just say positive mantras all day long. You'll be amazed at what it does in your life. Look in your eyes in the mirror. Take a breath, drop into your heart. And as you look into your eyes, just say loving, affirmative things to yourself. Speak the life you want into being. After all, with the sun moving into Leo, this is the sign of vitality. It can be the sign of the ego or the personality. The sun does represent that. But it's also the sign of the charismatic leader, the one who shows up, who steps out, who wants to express his passions in a beautiful way to the world. And that is within each of us. So remember that. Well, if you have any questions, let me know. That's kind of it for the week. We're going to move again from the moon in Aries, fire, cardinal, fire, taking action, to Taurus, grounding, and also awakening. All the planets are still in one half of the sky. Oh, hi, Joe. Okay, hi, Claudia. I had a question. I'm just curious because I look up in the sky right now, and it's 10:20 in the morning, and I can still see the moon. Does that mean anything astrologically? Absolutely. And by the way, if you will all check out my landing page, my new landing page, the link is probably in the chat. That's where you can, make an appointment for a session. But also, if you sign up to be on my email list, you will receive a bonus, a gift right away called Moon Phases at a Glance. And it will show you the moonrise and moonset, the keywords, the action to take, and what the moon looks like in each phase. And to address Joe's question, we're now in the disseminating phase. And in the disseminating phase, moonrise is at 9 p.m. and moonset is at 9 a.m. Every day of the phase, the moon set and rise moves forward about 50 minutes. So we are finishing up the disseminating phase, and so you can see how seeing the disseminating moon, and I love when the moon is up in the daytime because it's diaphanous. It's very magical. It's almost like you can see through it. So we're in the disseminating phase. And as we move toward the last quarter, we will see the moon rise we'll see the moon rise at midnight and set at noon. And that'll be that reverse moon pie. So you'll always know what time it is if you follow the moon. And this is what people used to do. They didn't have clocks. They looked at the moon. And so they knew if the moon was showing in the daytime, it was a waning part of the cycle. And they could see the dark taking over from right to left in the northern hemisphere as it grows from right to left in light during the waxing part of the cycle. So, go and sign up and get your moon phases at a glance. You can put it on your refrigerator, and it's a way to shorthand how to stay in touch with the true rhythms of life and the true right timing for everything. Yeah, there you go. There's the landing page for everybody. So please make a note of that. And you can see the replay of this show or any of the other shows on my YouTube channel, Claudia Thompson, at Claudia Thompson Moon Powered Astrologer. So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much, Joe, for your question. And you can always find me on Facebook at Moon Powered Astrology. So that's it for this week. I think we've got a good week coming up. It's a week where we continue to see the transformation in our lives and all around us. We continue in the wake of this full moon to look at what's culminated for us this year. What's the work that's calling us to do now. And what is it that we do to fill our own well so that we have a firm base of emotional security and spiritual connection when we're out and about in the world? What we do for a life that balances what we do for a living. Remember, you are the light of the world. That sun moving into Leo will remind you of the lighthouse that you truly are, lighting your own path and shining a light out into the world from your heart that others may benefit from, as well as yourself. So be the magnificent creator you are, be free, and remember now, as always, I love you to the moon and way beyond. Have a beautiful